Hi and welcome back to the best thing you watched this week. I'm Ruben. I'm still alive. I'm getting over pneumonia. Sorry for missing the week, but yeah, we're on the mend. Chris from Movies and Munchies. Hi, Chris.
Hey.
So this is season 3 of the best thing we watched this week, and we're starting a couple of weeks late. If this is your first time here, what we do a movie quote quiz at the beginning of each one, and we try and guess each other's. Chris has been doing them for a few weeks, so he's going to continue doing that. I'm going to do a question. That's normally the formula. And then we go into the best thing we watched. And then for our podcast section, it's exclusive. We talk about a film that we both haven't seen before. And then we talk about news, entertainment news, and what's coming. So there's a lot going on. And of course, we have our continued Patreon where we do exclusive reviews. This week, we're doing 3 1-minute reviews, which I think will be fun. We're going to try and guess each other's and have a stopwatch and just kind of cut it off. We've done one before and that worked out kind of well. It was fun to try and figure that out. However, let's catch up on the movie quote quiz and who won, Chris.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to go all the way back in time to the Christmas special, the Holiday Spectacular, where we watched that terrible Star Wars holiday special.
Wow.
Oh, Lord, I never need to see that again.
Never.
But from that week, the answers were Bring It On, The Muppet Christmas Carol, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, and then A Christmas Story. And Keith Knows got all of those right. So congratulations, Keith. That's awesome.
I only got 3 of those. Yeah.
So last week, just as kind of that little filler there, so that it wouldn't end up as a short, because I didn't want the video to be categorized as a short. We had what did I do? I did 5 quotes. And so Paul Oliver got 4 out of the 5. And here are the answers. It was IT Crowd, which I know is not a movie, but that's okay. It's entertainment and it's a show and it's just, yes, there you go. Jurassic Park, My Fair Lady, The Godfather, and Father of the Bride, the Steve Martin version with Martin Short, because Martin Short was the person doing the quote last time. So
nice. I only got 3 of those.
Are you ready for this week's?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Number 1. Life is not the amount of breaths you take. It's the moments that take your breath away.
No idea.
You totally know the movie.
Okay.
I know you do.
Okay.
Yeah. You're going to go like, dang it.
Oh, man.
Okay. Number 2. I'm bad, and that's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad.
Yeah. It's good. Good quote.
Number 3. Now, this is the movie, so which the answer will be the same regardless of the medium that you use, but that's okay. In the beginning, the universe was created. This made a lot of people angry and has been widely considered as a bad move.
Love this movie.
There you go. Figured we'd start off the year with something just kind of a softball pitch there, a little easier, some definitely mainstream. But let us know in the comments if you get those correct. We give you the shout out. Whoever gets it first, there you go. Ruben, do you have a question for us?
Yes. It's about life and death.
Oh, goodness.
You're on an island, setting the scene. You're on an island, there's a palm tree, and in the palm tree, there's a little button. In fact, there's 2 buttons.
Uh-oh.
The one button says, you push this button, and somebody dies in the world. Somebody really famous. But the other button resurrects anyone of your choosing. You have to push both buttons. Who would you resurrect?
Oh.
So you're going to push a button. Someone's going to die. It's going to choose. It could be anybody from a famous person to a little kid in Timbuktu. But you get to choose to bring someone back. is one person's life worth another?
So I have to choose one of each, right?
Yes.
I have to push. Okay.
You have to push the button. So someone dies.
Do I choose who that is, or I just push that one and it just goes?
I think to make it fair, you don't get to choose, because you could take out someone that's like
bad,
like a terrorist. Yeah. No, it chooses. Yeah. It's a random selector and generator. You push the button, and then you get to push the button of who you choose to bring back.
Let me ask you this: do I know who dies when I push the button to make somebody die?
Yeah, you will know.
Okay, so I'm gonna push that first.
Okay.
If it's somebody that I love, then I want that. I want them to come back.
Very clever. My bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna cheat death there, right. And then we're gonna have a whole Final Destination sequence. But oh gosh, who would I want to bring back?
I was saying someone that did really good for the Earth that we were cheated of.
Like the first person that comes to mind is Martin Luther King.
Right.
That just, but if you go down those lines, there's a lot of people that were activists for peace. Something like that. So, I mean, you could choose a lot of people, but I think I would do, do I get to meet him too? That would be cool.
Yeah, why not? Okay. They teleport to your island.
No. I want to teleport there. No, let's not strand somebody else on this stupid island.
They're like, great, you brought me back. How do I get out of here?
Exactly. Well, you have to push the button. All of a sudden, we have 36 people on the island. And
just keep pushing the button.
Yes. Oh, goodness. How about you?
Yeah, I'd probably push the button. And then that's hard though, because you're taking someone else's life away from them. Even if they're evil, you're playing God. And as we know, when humans start playing God, that's never a good thing. But I could bring someone back. Like, I was thinking Mother Teresa, but she's done her time. I was like, I kind of want to let her rest. She spent her whole life, like, just helping people. Yeah. I might bring someone back like Anton Yelchin, like the actor who, like, he brought so much joy to people just with his roles. And it made me happy just to see him. And that would bring joy to his family. Now, imagine if the button that you're pushing is someone that was on their deathbed and they're about to die, they're terminal, and you get lucky and you just take them out in the coma, like, yeah, okay, and then bring someone like that, then I could justify it. But in the other, like, if it's a healthy young man who's like a businessman going to work and he's just like, bleh, or, to quote the Matrix, not like this, then yeah, I'd feel bad. You guys should let us know in the comments. What is this conundrum? It's playing God. Do you choose to play God or don't you?
I didn't realize I had the choice to not push the buttons, though.
Yeah, I didn't really tell you that, did I?
Yeah, no. Because, I mean, so the catch is, if you push the button, you have to push both.
Yeah.
But the other option exists to just not push the button.
Yeah.
Yeah, which...
You're on an island with two buttons. Eventually you get bored. How long do you wait?
This is true. Well, and the first button could be me. Like, I could die. I could be the one that dies.
True.
You know what I mean? And then another button never gets pushed. So.
And, you don't have food, so you could eat the person that comes to you, so...
Wow, this is already... I mean, it was dark to begin with, and now it's just descended into madness.
Ruben hungry.
Puts lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
All right, let's get into it. The best thing you watched, Chris.
Okay. I've been looking forward to this, really, and I'm excited, and I think the show has been getting better each season. It is Apple TV's Servant.
I wondered if this was any good, season 4. Yeah.
Season 4 kicked off this week. I've seen the first 3 episodes. This first episode, it drives me nuts that it's only like 25 minutes. and it's a weekly release. Dude, that sucks.
That does suck. Yeah.
That's rude. Ugh. But wow. I mean, starting off with a bang. You know, the series has been getting tense, more and more tense, and because the character of Leanne, like, we're seeing her come into her own now, and it's really shifting to where she's been kind of ambiguous, where she's still a little ambiguous, but now she's talking about, I have power, or you haven't seen what I do, or what I could do yet.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. And this episode is bonkers. And there's not a lot of dialogue, really. I mean, it's more action, and it's more just this descending of groups of people and madness. And it's a little scary, more so tense than anything. We know, I mean, you assume that because it's the first episode of the final season, that they're not going to kill off Leanne in the first episode. So you have to kind of temper that tension that's built there. It's still really free. I mean, it's built up well. The sound, the camera angles, everything. It rides this wave of emotion where it amps up and then it takes a breather for a second and then comes back at you and then pulls back again and then comes back at you. And so it utilizes the 25 minutes really well. And then when it goes from that craziness of the majority of the episode, it then transitions where we have Dorothy coming home from the hospital. And at the end of season 3, she took the header off the stairs, and bad things happened to her there, where she and Leanne were fighting. And it sets up, then you feel this cold front come in when she arrives, because she's hurt, she's healing, but she's pissed at Leanne,
right?
You know, and just that dynamic there, which has been, it's very dysfunctional, I think, because sometimes it's really great between Leanne and Dorothy, and then other times it's completely antagonistic, and you're like, well, I mean, we know why she's still there and why she won't leave and why she has to come back and everything, but yeah.
How's 1-1 in this?
Oh my gosh, he's barely in. So the first episode, him and Toby Kebbell and even Lauren Ambrose are barely in it. It's really Tiger Nell Freeze as Leanne. It's really her episode.
Interesting.
The next 2 episodes play a little bit more, bring them in a little bit more. And yeah, no, he's good. I love the character of Julian, because
Rupert Grint has been excellent. Yeah.
He's like always exasperated, right? I mean, he's just like on that edge the whole time.
Yeah. You never quite know what you're going to get from him,
Yes.
which I love. I love the weird sort of cooking show we have in there as well. With there's always they're messing with food as well, and it's uncomfortable because you're not sure what Leanne's going to do to the food at some point, because she's been playing that the whole time. I think this is Shyamalan's best work. Like, I really do. Even like above his films, I think, as a, I guess, character study of people breaking down with a supernatural force at play as well. I'm really looking forward to getting into season 3, because it's one of my favorite things to watch, just because it's so on edge. You never know quite what you're going to get from it.
Yeah, it's very uneasy, right? His daughter directs one of the first 3 episodes, which I thought was kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. The thing I'm worried about, though, because it is his show, as just him as one of the creators. Now, he's not the only writer on it or anything like that, but he doesn't always stick the landings. So I'm a little...
Ta-da, it was all a dream.
Yeah. See, you gotta, I mean, with a show like this, I mean, it really does hinge. And I think that's like, I'm trying to temper my expectations, but it's really hard because
this is the last really season as well, right?
It is, yeah. Oh.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments. Have you caught up? I know this is something that people are working up to. Some of them, every now and again, they'll binge a couple episodes and be like, oh, there's another season. Cool. the acting is top notch. So definitely let us know in the comments what you think so far. It's good. It's one of Apple's TV series that starts with the letter S, so you should be watching it.
That's exactly right. So what's something that you want to chat about?
Yeah, so for some unbeknownst reason, I got allocated the 9 episodes of The Last of Us. And I looked around, I thought maybe it was a mistake, because I've seen huge, people with big numbers of critics just begging for the episode. So I was like, all right, well, I've got it. I'm not going to say don't give it. I'm going to watch them, right?
Absolutely.
And I did, and I loved every damn episode, and it left me wanting more. And this is coming from someone that's played every version of the first game, and there's been multiple versions of them. As new consoles come out with Sony, they do the remastered version. We've just had a completely remake of the first game come out. I played the second game a number of times. I know people had mixed feelings on the second one. So when I went into this, I went in with trepidation, because Joel and Ellie, the protagonists of The Last of Us, you have, when you've played it so many times, and it's such a harrowing story, it's very emotional. So when you have, how your people should look, and then you have an idea, you go into a new series, and you're like, whoa there, what have you done to my people? And I was one of the first people that's like, Pedro Pascal for Joel? Really? Really? And literally in minutes, I was like, that's Joel. Oh my gosh, that is Joel. The thing is, they've taken what has made Joel, and they haven't made it their own. They've just elevated the character, which I think is a really clever thing to do with this series, because you have two worlds of people that haven't seen it, played the games and they're coming in fresh, and then people that have played the games and they're coming in. So you're always going to have two dividing ideas. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so instead of making them go, please study the actors, please study the game, and then mimic yourself off those characters, they've said, take what's good and then elevate it. And they've so done that. Bella Ramsey, who plays Ellie, my goodness, she steals the show every time she's on screen. I'm like, damn, Pedro's good, but she manages to bring a humanity, even though she's hard as nails. Both of these characters are in a world where mutant zombies, plant type zombies, are evident. It's 20 years into the future, but it's sort of our time scale, and the world is just kind of learning to deal with this new world. It's that post-apocalyptic future. There are different military bases and places, different factions, the sort of thing that you've seen done a lot of times, but what makes it unique is that the zombies are fungus spore type, plant-based almost. So their faces are all got fungus mushrooms on them. There's ones that's clickers, and they're terrifying. Some deal with eyesight, they can see you. Some deal just with sound. The thing that I was wondering was, how do you take the stuff that's in a game and put that in a TV series and still make it fun to watch? So I'm moving a ladder to my left position 100 times, or I'm collecting this thing to make this pipe bomb. You can't put that in a TV series, because it'd just be dull as heck. You wouldn't watch that. But they still put it in there, but just really occasionally, as a nod. Oh, hey, Ellie, give me that ladder. And she's coming, and she gets distracted, and you're like, she better bring that ladder. I'm going to die. So you have all that really intense gameplay stuff that's in there, and the world looks like they've taken it out of the game and just plonked it on the screen. Then they embellish some of the stories that we didn't know anything about, which is fantastic. I mean, the first episode that airs when you're watching this, it's probably come out, because the first episode comes Sunday evening, and it's 85 minutes long. So they give you a big, almost feature film episode. So here you go. And then it's weekly, and it's 9 episodes. But man alive, the pacing is fantastic. The only negativity I see going into this is episode 4. And I love episode 4. But episode 4 is a character study. It stops the pacing, and we follow one particular character who I know you love as the actor. I'm just going to pull him up. And basically, we watch him go through being one of those kind of collectors, the type of people that will survive the end of the world. They just know everything, right?
Yeah.
And you see him form a relationship, and they spend the whole episode basically on this guy. And I was amazed that they were willing to do that. But it adds so much more when Joel and Ellie kind of meet up with this character, because you have this whole episode history. Nick Offerman he's fantastic in all the characters that you meet. Like the sideline characters are fantastic, but you don't see a lot of them. So you're following Joel and Ellie. There is a possibility that something could happen, something positive with this fungus thing. So Joel and Ellie need to get from point A to B. So it's a journey adventure. So along the way, they meet these characters and, trying to survive the world. That's the story in a nutshell. But I guarantee, bring tissues, man. Seriously, there are emotional beats in this that you just won't see coming. That I thought, wow, you give me one episode of this person and I care so much that I'm like, like, it's so good. Honestly, it's really, 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 really good.
Nice. And you think the story's accessible and like deep enough
100%.
So that somebody like me that has never played the game can totally, okay.
Yeah, because Kirsten watched it and she's never played the game and she's like, damn, this is good. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I was one of those people who asked for the screeners and they were like, I'm sorry, no.
Yeah, so I have no idea. I don't know who, like someone liked my, or accidentally clicked yes on my name.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's so crazy at who got them, because like the people that I saw that were talking about it, I was like, how in the world did you get it? Who did you talk to that, did you reach out like in, the first day that it was announced and say, please, I would like to read.
I think maybe for me, it's the UK guys have a different, there's a selection of like critics and maybe some YouTubers for the British folk. And I was one of them. Yeah. I was like, sweet, I'll take that.
Nice. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you got to see it. I'm really glad that it's worth watching. I know all the early reviews were like absolutely positive on it, so that's outstanding.
And I wondered where I would sit in that, because I thought for sure those that had played the games would be like, nah, this is because there's a lot of hate, but it's like racist hate. Like, why are they Mexican now? I'm like, oh, shut up, please. Just go away.
Yeah, no doubt. What the heck?
But honestly, I was just so impressed. It's fantastic.
Sweet. Well, good. Right on. All right. Moving on?
Yeah.
Cool. This one, do I want to talk about this one? Yeah, I will. Okay. So, maybe just briefly. The final season dropped. I haven't even actually done a review on this, but it's Sky Rojo. Season 3.
I wondered if you'd even watched this, yeah.
Yeah, on Netflix. I was a fan of I really enjoyed the first season. The second season was okay for me, but it was just, I almost wished that it had just been a singular season, you know, because the second season felt like it was kind of drawn out, like they unnecessarily. The third season gives us resolution, which I like. It provides some really good character moments. And I think we get to see some character growth in there that works. It might be a little bit rushed and it might be a little bit unbelievable in spots, but then also when you look at the flip side of that, and I know I'm being very vague, but it literally just came out, like when you're watching this 2 days ago, at least, you can see how some of the character transitions would come about because of the emotional ride that people have been on, and some of the things that, like the events. If a person has been this way, and then something has happened here, and then in a very quick or short amount of time, they flip and show massive growth from where they were. Normally you would be like, I don't know if I buy that, like just turning on a dime almost. But because of the circumstances that lead to that change, it makes sense.
Okay.
there's some great action sequences in this. Not all of them, but there are a few that are outstanding. There's some tragic moments in it too, where you're like, oh, I didn't realize you were gonna do that. Okay. It's funny too, because the season it's short. I mean, it's 8 episodes, but they're all like 25 minutes or 35 minutes long.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's a very, very quick binge. Halfway through the show though, so at episode 4, it felt like we were coming to the end.
Oh,
and
weird.
I'm like, what are you going to do for the next couple of episodes? And so that had me worried. Like, oh, we're going to drag this out. You're going to just, we're going to, make it just last way longer than it needs to. And I don't think it did. I think they used that time well to put some things in place that made the progression feel natural. And so when we reach the end, it doesn't feel rushed. And it does feel like we've earned that, but it also hasn't been like, okay, we've just added a whole bunch of filler here for no reason. So it's, I think it's a good ending to the series. I think if you've enjoyed the series, then it's a great reason to watch, because it does wrap things up for you. It gives you a conclusion. They conclude the story, and then still give you a little bit of like, oh, well, things could happen in the future, positive or negative. And you just kind of, you can imagine what happens for some of the characters down the road. I'm trying to think if you've not watched the first 2 episodes, I mean, at least now is the time to jump into it, because you can just binge it all at once, and that you're not gonna get invested in a show like so many they just get canceled. This one, it has a full arc.
This is an anomaly. They managed to finish their story. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because it's like short episodes and there's not a lot of effects or anything that go in. I mean, they have some some action pieces. So there are, there's investments that they have to make. So if they're blowing stuff up or they're shooting things or whatever, or having chase scenes or anything like that. But a lot of the locations are, because it's happening on this island off the coast of Spain, you can kind of show it desolate. And it could be anywhere, really, so you don't have to, there's not a lot of establishing shots or travel shots that they do where they're jet setting all over the world or anything, where I think that would ramp up the production costs a lot. But
nice.
Yeah. I had fun with it. So,
okay.
And I liked the characters. So I think that helps, that they grow on you as the show goes along.
Well, I'm really glad it managed to finish. But like you were saying, Netflix cancels everything at the moment, so it's very hard to get invested in anything. So, yeah, well, that's good. At least now, if people were holding off, if this is when it's like, well, it's only part 1, well, now you got a complete story. So definitely kind of worth jumping into that.
Exactly.
So just before we did our Christmas extravaganza, I think literally a couple of days after, you and I both watched a South Korean series called The Glory. And I have to say, it's one of the most harrowing TV experiences I had, especially that first episode. I mean, this series doesn't shy away from showing the brutality. They label it as, what's the word? They label it as bullying, but it's so much more than that. It's assault, it's the brutality of sexual assault, physical harm, torture. I would classify it as classified. And it was so horrible to watch. I almost contemplated not watching the rest of the series, because I was like, are you going to do this throughout? Now, thankfully, they don't. It does come back and they reference it, and there are other parts in it that are as nasty, but it's that first episode that if you can get past that first episode, then it sets you up for this revenge story that makes you on our protagonist. That it's a long, like a 25-year revenge story that you're fully invested in, because these people deserve to die. Like, in my mind, I was like, you don't deserve to be breathing air. You guys suck beyond compare. And And then you get the puzzle piecing of how our protagonist is, how do I explain it? She's decided that her life is worth nothing, that the only thing that her life is now for is sorting these people out, making sure that they get their comeuppance, which is heart sore when she meets people that are genuinely caring for her. She meets people that are like beautiful to be around her. There's a woman that she kind of takes under her wing. That
I love that woman.
Right?
She's my favorite character.
She's great. I loved everything about every time she was on screen. I wanted more of her. She elevates the mood. She needs more people around. Like you're willing her to almost give up her revenge, but at the same time you don't want her to, because it's a really weird conflicting emotions that it makes you go through, because you want her to stop because you know what she's doing is wrong, but actually those people shouldn't be around, because what else are they going to do to other people? If that's what we've seen in the light, what do they do in the dark? You know, it's that sort of mentality. What did you think of it, Chris?
I, like you, I wasn't sure I wanted to continue on, because the torture part of it is brutal. And it's like, okay, I get the point. And I think also the emotional abuse that comes in, that is showcased within this, and not just from the first episode. I mean, they revisit it quite a bit, but I was so shocked. And I actually said this, and a lot of people have said in the comments that, no, this is actually, this happens. And like the government has had to begin to address it and stuff. But you have, so this girl is assaulted in school. Then her teacher beats on her and doesn't believe her, and she deserves it.
That's what just makes it so much worse. That the people that are meant to be protecting her in authority...
The police don't believe her, don't do anything. They blame her. The students just get off because their parents are rich or influential. Which I don't even understand that. I mean, so there's bullying on so many different levels within this, you know. I did enjoy the mousetrap type of thing, where you see her as more and more pieces begin to fall into place, you know, and things are revealed, and like you know that she's scheming, because it reveals that to us. But then and my brain starts working of like, oh, well, what angle are you working with this person, you know? And it's like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm not going to really be a spoiler, but she talks with this one character, and she becomes very vulnerable with that character, and it's towards the end of this first season, and the character's response was not what I expected, and I was like, "Holy crap!" You know,
that makes me excited for the next 8.
Totally, because that response. And the conviction in the response is like, oh, you're not messing around.
This is taking the series in a totally different direction.
Yeah, it's
and I'm all for it.
Oh, totally, absolutely. Because it's the antagonists are crafted in such a way that they're terrible people.
I mean, just the worst. Like absolute worst.
They are. And the ringleader, like every time she's on screen, I just want to throttle her, because she's like a petulant child the entire time. She throws a tantrum at any little thing, and it's like, oh my gosh, shut up. Oh, what a great show.
If I never see a woman's curling iron again, it'll be too soon. Seriously, like that's nightmare fuel.
Dude, when in those moments where Dong-yoon, you get to see more of her body, especially at the end where she, she's standing there just in her underwear. Yeah. I mean, and you get to see the torment that has happened across her entire body.
It's a map of torture. Yeah. It's
oh
awful.
My gosh. Yeah.
But again, incredible series. Well acted, well showcased, beautifully told.
Yeah.
artistic in places, but it's not like it's not so artistic that you're like, this is pretentious. It's just wonderfully. Some edits that were excellent. There was one shot where someone was getting burnt, and then they cut to an egg frying, and I was just like, oh, that's horrible. But so clever. Yeah. Phenomenal series. Definitely put it on your watch list.
Absolutely. And the greatest thing is part 2 is coming like in March.
Yeah, really soon.
So we don't have to wait very long, which I love. So that really means, I think that it's all been filmed, it's all been edited and everything. It's just they just chose to break it up into 2 segments.
Yeah, Netflix wants their watch time.
Yeah, which they're going to get anyway. I mean, if I watch it here or I watch it there, I guess they just want it watched in a different month.
Yeah, higher attributes in that month. But yes, it's so good. Yeah,
outstanding. Yeah, no, that's a great one. Okay, so last night I watched a movie. Well, last night as we're recording this, Friday the 13th. Kevin Williamson of Scream, the original Scream, he wrote a new movie that has some Scream elements to it, especially at the beginning. It definitely feels just like
so Scream. Lost. Last night I watched Friday the 13th. You didn't watch Friday the 13th.
I didn't watch Friday the 13th. It was Friday the 13th. Sorry. Let me start over. Chris has had a week.
I'm so confused. And then Friday the 13th and Scream together. Brilliant. Okay.
So we're recording this on Saturday the 14th, which is a movie I need to watch at some point because I think it's a terrible parody. But so on Friday the 13th, a new movie on Peacock came out, and it was written by Kevin Williamson, who wrote the original Scream.
Nice.
This movie called Sick is begins like Scream, and I enjoyed it. And the whole movie has elements that you could feel of Scream, where it works in the horror element. It's not a reboot of Scream. It's not trying to be Scream. It's just taking some of those things that really worked that are either iconic or that we're like, ooh, I like that part, or that's what made it tense and freaky.
Is there a costume freak?
No.
Okay.
The movie takes place in April of 2020.
Okay.
And so it's at the beginning of the pandemic when in the US lockdown is just beginning to happen and stuff. And when that happened, I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to watch a pandemic movie again.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tired of these.
Yeah. And some of them suck.
A lot of them suck. It uses it. It's funny too because it uses the pandemic in a way that that enhances and explains all of the things that are going on. Right. Now because I don't want to spoil it. There's a lot of tension to it. Okay, let's just talk about that first. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of, my wife was yelling at the TV for a large portion of this, trying to get the characters to react in the way that she wanted. Like, don't go in there or run.
Don't go in the basement.
Yeah, just like because, and it was funny. It was entertaining for me to watch her watch the movie because she was so invested in it. It was tense. In the movie itself, it was tense and it was exciting, and so for her to it was great. It was wonderful, and I'm glad that she was invested in it like that. There's a message in it at the end that the story's telling, and I struggle with it a little bit because it flips what was reality, I think, on its head. It brings in, because it's still pandemic, you have these, you have a character who is absolutely just hardcore about the mask. She's got the aerosol spray. It is funny because we see some of the things that we did early on in the pandemic that then we realized and were shown through science that we didn't need to do, like wiping every single thing down. You know what I mean? And all of that. So it was I don't know. It's a shorter movie, which is good. You know, it's over and done with. It's bloody, and it's violent, and the pacing of it is really good because it goes like this, just up and down, and not slow and fast, but just intense breather, intensity, breather again, and then it reaches the point where it doesn't really give you a breather anymore. It just, you know, and the tension never really resides. You have a breather moment, but that tension is still way up here because you know things. I mean, it's just everything is compiling and it's reaching that breaking point and that climax. And yeah, it's exciting. You feel when it's over, you're like, yes. So it's on Peacock in the US. I don't know if it's
It could be worth a one-time watch then.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. For my third and final one, this is a second time watch.
Okay.
There's been a lot of talk about this particular movie with the awards that are coming up and the possibility that it might even just have the slightest running in being Best Picture. And I have to say, I actually enjoyed it more the second time. The issues I had with it the first time didn't seem to crop up, and I want everybody now to watch it. My family hasn't seen it, and I'm going to force them to watch it. It is a 3-hour movie, though, and it's RRR. Dude. I watched this the second time, and I was just like, how is this movie this good? Like, honestly, this is a unique movie. People need to watch this movie and understand the hype. The hype is real for this film. It's a film that 45 minutes into it, that's when the title comes up, and you still don't actually understand what's happening. It fully embraces the Bollywood dance moves, which are epic and need to win like the award for best song and dance. Like, seriously, that one with the dance move with the guys with the feet,
dude.
Turn my sound
and
way up. It's so much fun. But then I'm so emotionally involved because it's a bromance. It's the best bromance movie I've seen ever, I think. It's basically two halves of the film, two guys. They both are fighting for the same thing, really. It's part of the story that is unraveled as the story comes along. Once you see the orange R and then you see the blue R, one for fire, one for water, and you understand the yin and yang of their worlds, and fighting against the red coats are coming, the British are coming, trying to take everything from spectacular musical moments to just crazy action sequences of animals diving out of the back of a van, just attacking everybody. Like, you've never seen that on screen before, and slow motion used in a good way. The only thing that draws back is probably some of the CG in that bit, but you forgive it because it's just spectacular to watch. And then the action sequences are bonkers and just so much fun, like crazy hyped up with the score that's making you like, yeah, let's do this, come on. I was just like, why is this movie so good? I don't understand why I love it so much, but I just do.
No, totally. No, I rewatched it in December also. And it was, it was because I was also curious of like, is this going to hold up? Is it going to be like, am I going to, because 3 hours is a long.
It is. It's a long movie.
That's a long time to invest if I'm, and I was like, I don't know. And I found myself just like mesmerized again, the, one of the things, and you talked about the score that I loved that just, it stands out to me. And it's when after the dance scene, because you have Ram who had done on the drums to begin that dance sequence, when he has an issue later on and he needs help and he's crawling in the street.
The way they bring that back is so good. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Just bringing this, like using a thing that you didn't know was a thing until later on that has an emotional impact because they had an emotional moment there together because he's trying to woo the girl through the dance and he lets the friend, he looks at his friend and he kind of goes, oh, okay, I'm gonna step off, yeah. And then later, yeah, the vibration through the ground trying to rescue his friend. My goodness, yeah, an amazing moment. But that's scattered throughout.
Yeah.
They're
It
just
is.
moments. They're just, this is why we had this bit in this movie. Now
Yeah.
we're bringing it back. From the beads they wear around their neck to being important, because to a moment where he's being choked by them, but later on it means so much more. Or the speech about, do you know the worth of a bullet? There's so much. It's just like, oh, dude, this film is great.
It really is. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So much fun. I hope it wins more. Like the Golden Globes, it only won for song. I think it didn't get any other recognition, which is still great that it won the song but I just think to have a global phenomenon like this, I think it deserves more in that it should be recognized for it's doing what film is supposed to do about, making the world smaller, expanding our horizons.
Yeah.
And then, it's touching so many different cultures that,
I would love it to win Best Picture, like at the Oscars. It won't, but it would be an amazing moment. Like, I can't imagine the celebration around the world of something like that winning.
Could you imagine? We could probably hear the celebration from India.
For sure.
If it, like the collective, and I think though, outside of that country, like around the world, people would go like, yes, that deserve it. Like you wouldn't,
It won't. Because we don't live in that world, but I would love it to.
Oh my gosh, that would be so good. Yeah. So, I have one last one briefly.
Okay. Yep.
I'm not actually I'm just going to briefly talk about it because, in the US, it hasn't even really come out yet. It's only been in limited release, but I got to see it as an early screener this past week. It released in some film festivals in 2022. So some people have already seen it, and they've talked about it or whatever. But it's Women Talking. And whoa. If you like stage plays, if you like dialogue-driven movies, this one is spectacular. I think to like a movie like Glengarry Glen Ross, that's very dialogue heavy. That's where the story exists, right? Yeah. This one is similar to that, and it's executed so well. And I thought, I didn't know what to expect going in. I hadn't read the book. I hadn't even watched a trailer. So I didn't know anything about this. And it is very powerful. It is very moving. The performances are spectacular. And amidst the very heavy and dark topics that they're discussing, there's humor that's woven throughout that doesn't feel forced, and it doesn't feel like it's breaking anything or put in there as a levity moment. It feels like it's a natural part of the conversation. So when you have a large group of people who are talking, you're going to have all different types of personalities and how they deal and cope with what's being discussed. And, the emotional roller coaster that is going on within this conversation, the humor breaks through at the right moments and feels good and makes you chuckle, but you also know that you're only just kind of chuckling because it's it's genuinely funny.
What's it about? I know nothing about it.
This group of women in they call it a colony. Looks kind of like a cult, but it's more like, think more of like, not Amish, Quaker type of people. Or there's another type that's, and the word it's completely lost me, but it's like isolated society that doesn't, you also, for a large portion of the movie, don't know when it's happening, like what time period it's happening, because their dress is very traditional and old.
Okay.
The men of this colony have been abusing the women horribly. And when something is finally done, the women then have a vote for three choices. And when the vote is not isn't unanimous and it's almost evenly spread across.
Okay.
The four families are chosen of the women are chosen to make the decision for everybody else.
Wow.
And so you have this this back and forth of all the pros and the cons, and and what does this mean if we do this, and so you have, I mean, you have people talking about everything they've ever known. I mean, they've grown up in this. This is their world, and the possibility of it not being their world anymore, is very scary. And what does that mean? And them looking at ramifications down the road, positive and negative. And, and so there's a lot of 360 degree looking at the situation, because some people will say, well, I understand, okay, this has been terrible, but if we do this, which I'm not saying we shouldn't, but if we do, it could lead to this, this, and this, and then somebody else says, yeah, but if we don't, then it leads to this, this, and this. And I can see that it could get a lot of hate towards it by the toxic male group,
right?
That they're going to, oh, well, this is just a Me Too movie, which, okay, maybe. I mean, sure, yeah, it could be in there, or the thing though that I think is bad is that to do that, to call it something like that, to be dismissive of that, actually is dismissive of the people that this occurs against.
There's a reason why the Me Too movement started, and that's probably like a story that needs to be told.
Exactly, yeah. So it's not, I mean, this isn't a Me Too story. I mean, it's not, that was She Said, which was also a great movie. So I don't know. The reason I think there's going to be hate is because bad men will not, will be threatened by women addressing issues and standing up for themselves and stuff
when
like this.
When truth is revealed, people often suddenly, the people that need to be brought to light will often shout the loudest.
Yes. So it is harrowing. I mean, the topic that's being discussed it's terrible. I mean, and it's sad. But it's a really good movie. It comes out in the US on the 20th of January. And I don't know if it's going worldwide at that point or what, because it's, it had releases at festivals and then had a very limited release like New York and LA and a couple other cities.
I've heard of it and I've seen some PR about it. So I think it's about in the UK in places as well. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely worth checking out. I mean, it surprised me at how engaging it really was and how touching. Yeah.
Dude,
it's so good.
Frances McDormand, Jesse Buckley, Claire Foy, Rooney Mara. Jeez.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's well done. So
nice.
There you go.
Okay. Should we do our top 10 movies that we're looking forward to?
Yes. Let's do that.
Okay. In 2023.
Are you ranking yours?
I am.
Pooh. Okay.
You don't have to, but I am.
Let me count how many I have here because I have more than 10.
I've got some honorable mentions, which I'll mention just before my number one.
Okay, yeah, let me do that. I will. Okay. Sorry, I'm here like
You can always
editing.
cut this bit out.
This is excellent video content right here.
Definitely edit this bit out, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. No, they get to see my stupidity. Okay, you want to go first?
Sure. At number 10, Ant-Man Quantumania. It's all the way down at number 10 because I'm very excited about it, because the more the trailers I've seen of it now, I'm like, oh, that looks actually really interesting. But I'm also very much marveled out, especially with this last phase. I just haven't been feeling it. So at the same time, I'm like, meh. But at the same time, Ant-Man has been one of the more solid characters that I've loved throughout. So to see what he will do with Kang, because that's going to be setting up for the big kind of Marvel next phase, Endgame sort of stuff, right? They have their two-parter at the end of this next phase, and Kang is a big part of this one. So yeah.
This is on my list as well.
Okay.
I'm a little marveled out also, which surprised me. I wasn't like because I also saw that the Marvels or Marvels, however you want to call it, are also coming out this year, and I'm like, I want to see Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd in the character. Jonathan Majors, when he was revealed in Loki, I was like, dude,
he's excellent.
Yeah, you're outstanding. So
for sure,
like, I want to see him. I'm not really excited for the movie though.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
I'm just kind of like, I'm going to go see it, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. But I also am like, remember when Marvel movies, they used to have 1 or 2 a year. That was it. No TV shows. It was just that. And so it became more of an event.
Yeah.
And now it's like every month we have something, you know.
And the poor VFX artists as well. Like, they're just not getting time to do a good job. So
yeah. Well, in this movie, is going to be
heavy, very,
very, very heavily VFX. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what's your 10 then?
I think I would put.
You put this one.
I would put Ant-Man at 10 also. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My number 9. I don't know if I should be more excited about this movie. I'm just interested in it. That the fact that we're getting a movie and it's these actors, Barbie. So, right? I know next to nothing about it except the actors, the look of it, and the director. And all of those things make me go, yes, I want to watch this movie. But at the same time, it's Barbie.
Yeah. This one is also on my list. And I agree. I'm very intrigued by the idea of it. The stills or just the little bits that we've seen from the teaser trailer and images looks great. I mean, I love the bright, vibrant, just, shockingly fluorescent colors that are being used a lot of the time. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's one that I'm like, yeah, I want to see. And again, though, I'm not breaking down the doors,
exactly,
I think, to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what's your 9? Is that your 9? Or have you got
well, and it's kind of hard. I didn't really rank them, so
okay,
I'm just
fine.
kind of...
You're just going to go along. Okay. So at number 8, I've got Dune 2. As much as I loved Dune 1, they took too long to get this next one out. And the fact that they were still casting up until recently just makes me wonder what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
They should have made both 1 and 2 back to back and then split them up between each Christmas. That's how it should have done. That was the planning mishap. And the fact that we had to wait so long until they even greenlit the second part makes me go, what? Seriously? Were you really going to leave the movie like that? And all the promises of the things that we were meant to see in Dune 1. I mean, it's a slow, pretentious film, the first part. Like, anybody says anything about, I'm sorry, it's pretentious as heck. How many forlorn looks can you have of people just looking off into the distance? And like, it's beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. It is stunning to look at. Denis Villeneuve, he does an incredible look, aesthetically pleasing, but it's pretentious as heck. So that's why it's so low on the list. Like, I want to see it at the cinema because spectacle.
Yes.
right? Sound effect. Better be better than the first part, though.
Well, and yeah, because the first part was, I mean, it's just so much just prologue.
It's just setup,
Yeah. This is on my list also, but I am like like I keep saying, I'll believe that it's coming out when I actually see it.
Okay.
Yeah. I loved the scale that he created in the first one. I thought that was spectacular. I mean, it's visual, just wow. But yeah, I mean, it's also frustrating because it's part of a story, you know, and then to wait so long for another part of that story to really get into the meat of things.
Yeah, exactly. It's not smart, but yeah. So yeah, it's on there. Number 7, MI7. I would probably rank it higher if it wasn't the fact that it's part 1 of 2, and so I hate that again. Like, why stop doing that? You don't need to draw it out. Just make them individual stories. Make the next one 8. I trust Tom Cruise and his action and his storytelling 100%. Just seeing the stunt that he put online recently, like what he was doing for this film, mental.
Was that the motorcycle one?
Yeah, the motorcycle. Absolute mental dude. And I love it. Like, he's one of the few people left living that is willing to do that. It's the reason why he has a production company, so that he can get past all the insurance to do it himself, right? And they're so much fun. I could stick 1 on and spend the day watching 1 to 6, straight away. All of them have unique. Even number 2, John Woo's pigeon flying number 2, still great fun. Yeah. Are you looking forward to this?
I am, and probably a little more than you, but you're right. The whole part 1 thing, dude, I'm so over that.
Yeah.
Stop
it. Yeah.
Everybody's doing part 1.
Everybody's doing it. Yeah.
And it's a terrible trend. Let's stop. Let's just.
I don't like it.
Yeah, because it's the next one is not any less a sequel, but really you're making me only. I don't know. And you're right. Tom Cruise, yes, absolutely. I'm there. I'm super excited because I love the movie. And I think, what's his name is still in it. Simon Pegg. So I'm excited for that. Yeah. I think it's going to be a spectacular movie, and I think it's going to be really just high adrenaline and engaging and just like jaw dropping.
I mean, it's the reason why you go to cinema, that experience. And Tom Cruise delivers that in like every film. So anything he puts out, I'm there. Maverick.
Well, remember the Halo jump?
Yeah,
I mean, I love the behind the scenes of that, because you watch the camera guy doing the Halo jump also. So it's not just Tom Cruise. I mean, good for him, but we need to address the crew. That's also
doing
having
all the same crazy crap because they have to film it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
Number 6, I have Guardians Volume 3. So my favorite characters, I'm marveled out, but they are my favorite characters in Marvel. Like, I love them to bits. I'm worried because we've had people like Bautista who said he's no longer in it, like that he's done. So in the back of my mind, it's like, well, how many of these characters James Gunn just going to kill off? I am honestly not ready for that. I don't think I can handle watching Groot die again and Drax die. And, how much emotional torment can you make your fans go through? And also the team feels very different. A lot has happened in between. We've had Thor kind of messing with them a bit, messing up the dynamics. We don't really have the Gamora anymore. So it's going to feel different because their relationship, the emotion isn't there. So I'm going into this tentatively, like, how are you going to make us care like it's the same group? How the writing has to be so good for that to work.
Yeah, and I think I'm not worried about that because of James Gunn's track record with ensembles.
Yeah.
I think he'll nail it. But yeah, from an emotional level, that it's, I have my predictions on who's going to die. And it was a little bit of a bummer too. I was disappointed when you hear, Bautista talking.
He shouldn't have announced that. He shouldn't, because that's a spoiler.
yeah, and even if he's just like, in the movie, he's just like, his character is like, I'm done with this. I'm going back to my
He's
wife
going
or whatever.
somewhere else. Yeah, we don't have
Yeah.
to see him again ever. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It always bums me out a little bit too when you hear actors who have been key roles in a lot of the movies, and are fan favorites, to hear them be like, I don't really like this role. Or
yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, dude, come on. You're a favorite of this. I mean, it's like Johnny Depp being
hating
Jack
his
Sparrow.
role as Jack Sparrow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like you made this iconic character. You made it. I mean, the delivery that he has with Drax is,
because he says he wants to play serious roles. That just because you're playing a character that is like that is very literal, doesn't mean he's not intelligent. You're taking it to be like that, and that's something to do with your own understanding of the character. But that's also taking away the enjoyment and the experience of what the fans, you're taking away. Oh, okay, so this didn't mean much to you. Should it mean anything to us?
Yeah, yeah. And he is a bit of a silly character, and that's what makes him great. Sure. Him standing there, I move so slow that you can't see me.
You can't see me. It's great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Number 5, Spider-Man Across the Verse. It was so good, the one that we had. The animation style, it won the Oscar. Nobody expected it to be as good as it was. It didn't have any right to be as good as it was. It was excellent. Like, it's
so good.
It's very, very good. The only reason why I have it at number 5 and not higher is that, again, it's part 1 of 2, and I'm done with these part 1 of 2s.
Yeah. The animation style, again, just it blows my mind.
Yeah.
At the mixture that they use in this that works. Miles Morales, I love the character.
Great character.
I don't know, and this is somebody coming from never read any of the comics or anything else, or played any games or anything. I mean, my first exposure to Miles Morales was in Into the Spider-Verse. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse. And loved it. His delivery, his character, just the persona that comes with him. Just like, yes, I'm here. I want you to have a lot of movies because I like you as a character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Number 4, I have Knock at the Cabin, which is Shia LaMont's foray into a new film, talking about Bautista, who's one of the... I've seen the trailer, and that's what got me intrigued, and then I saw Shia LaMont, and I have more faith in Shia LaMont again because of what we were just talking about, Servant.
Oh, yeah.
So you put those things together, you put the cast and this new intriguing story, and I think it actually could be one of the better films, the more intriguing ones that we have.
This is not on my list. I do want to see it. It's crazy because both my wife and my oldest son have read Paul Tremblay's book, Cabin at the End of the World, that this is based on.
Right.
But because Shyamalan has changed the title, and I think he's changed the story somewhat. I haven't read the book on purpose because I want to have the possibility to enjoy the movie.
Right. Okay.
It does make me. I'm still hesitant with how it's going to end. I did, unfortunately, and I hate it that I saw it. I had seen the teaser trailer, which I loved, and then I saw a longer trailer, and it pissed me off because they show so much in this. And it's like, dude, I liked not knowing the ambiguity of...
Yeah, that's what works for this movie. Yeah, you need to not show. Watch the teaser, and that's it.
Yeah, don't... Yeah, so if you... The huge thing, if you have not seen the trailer, the true trailer for Knock at the Cabin, don't see it. It shows so much, and it takes away doubt, I think, on certain aspects. And I didn't like, yeah. So anyway, for me, I'm really looking forward to Oppenheimer.
Okay.
I think Cillian Murphy, I want to see him. There's been that teaser trailer, which is all I need. I'm totally good. I don't need to see any more. Yeah, there's the ticking clock and we know the story of the atomic bomb is sort of known. This is not the first movie even that has been like about this, but I hope Nolan doesn't mess with the dialogue, the audio of that, because Tenet was so hard to understand.
I don't even have this on I want to watch this year. I'll watch it when it comes to screeners. I tried watching Tenet again with subtitles, couldn't get past like half an hour of it. I don't even enjoy the movie. Like, I'm just like not sold on him as a director anymore. Like the hype, seriously. I'm like, I can't justify this anymore. And I have no idea what this movie is about except for it being set about that storyline. So far, none of it has grabbed me and going, yeah, I want to see this movie. I know people love him and rate him as like the best director ever. And that's fine. But like, I was so burned by Tenet. I was like,
which is really a bummer for Tenet because the end of it, like I do want to watch it again because there's a portion of it where I'm like, oh, that was actually really clever. But the audio is so, I need to be able to hear our characters speak. The dialogue is important. And if it's not important, then it shouldn't be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope it's good. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Shazam is my number 3. Even though I know James Gunn is like redoing the whole of DC and Shazam is still from part of the old lot. I love this character. I really want him to stay. I think there is talks with him as that character and that actor to stay for the new lot. Fingers crossed, because I just think he knocks out of the park. He's perfect, and I want more.
Dude, I love Zachary Levi as Shazam because he encompasses that teenage mentality and behavior in an adult body. And yeah, he sells it and it just works. This is on my list. I think I would put it just a tiny higher. I think I might put this one at number 2, looking at what I have left in mind. But yeah, no, it's outstanding.
Nice. My number 2, excuse me, is John Wick 4.
Okay.
I don't know that I need to explain that.
Nope. That this would be if I were ranking the ones that I have in there, that would be my number 1.
Yeah.
Because come on. Yeah.
Yeah. All in.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I've signed up for text alerts from, what is it, Lionsgate, I think. And so I get, texts from John Wick all the time where it's just like, you have 30 minutes or the countdown has begun. You're like, wait, what is this? And I have to scroll through other texts. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what this is.
Nice. Yeah. Before I do the number 1, honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I'll just rattle through them quickly and you can tell me yours. Super Mario, Creed 3, The Meg 2, 65, Cocaine Bear.
Meg 2? I didn't even know that was coming out.
Yeah.
That's...
giant shark movie with Jason Statham? Come on.
Yeah, no, yes, please. Yes, please.
It's a stupid film. It's going to be great.
Yeah, see right there. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Stupid fun with a giant shark just wreaking havoc, right?
Exactly.
That's all. Yeah. I want it to be bigger. That's
what bigger is better.
Yes. We're gonna find out that the one that was in this one was the baby.
That's the baby shark.
Was pissed. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So in my honorable mentions, I have Cocaine Bear and 65. Both of those I think are outstanding. The whole 65 thing, it's blowing my mind, and I'm not gonna watch any more trailers because I I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited for that one too.
Okay. Yep.
The other two that I have on there is Evil Dead Rise, because I don't know if you've seen the Red Band trailer of that.
Yeah,
but it
I saw
is,
that. Yeah.
It's messed up.
Don't know. I'll be watching that.
Yeah, the whole cheese when a cheese grater is grabbed, I'm like, that's okay.
That's
wow.
too far.
Yeah. The other one is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think it's going to be stupid. I think it's going to be stupid. But the trailer made me laugh and made me really excited. Okay. I mean, I was like, okay, you've got Chris Pine being silly.
In the Bard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, yes, that alone right there works, because I like him as an actor, and I think he can play this character, the snark and the sarcasm and the whatever you want to call it. I can't think of the name that I'm trying to use, but anyway, there you go. Okay.
My number one, it has to be Renfield.
Oh.
Also a film I think is going to be stupid. But Nicolas Cage being a Dracula, and I've seen the trailer for it, and he's really putting it on like proper Dracula. It's just Nick Caging.
Full into it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he's just
fully into it. Yeah.
Well, and Nicholas Hoult too is outstanding in that trailer.
Yes.
Like, I love him as an actor, and it's just. We just recently rewatched The Menu, because it came to HBO Max, and part of my family hadn't seen it, so we sat down and watched it. And dude, Nicholas Hoult in that movie is so good. I mean, he's just good. Like, you just want to slap him the entire time.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would have been at my number two? And I think it's more out of nostalgia, and I'm hoping that it's better than number 4, but it's Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm holding out hope, like fingers crossed, like I want this to be good.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to watch it. I just don't have it on my list or in my honorable mentions, because I don't know. I just don't know.
He's really old. I mean, first off. But you know what? That CGI that they used, the de-aging, looked really good in the trailer.
Really good CG, yeah.
So I'm like, well, I mean, now granted, that's a minute and a half thing, not a 2-hour movie. So,
yeah,
did you put all of your money into the de-aging of that little clip?
For the trailer, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But the character, the Raiders of the Lost Ark was one of the first movies that I ever remember seeing in the theater. And so that, as a kid. And so that, I don't know, special place there for me, that character and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that's our top 10 with honorable mentions. Which ones are you shouting at us going, I can't believe you didn't mention this film? I'm sure there are loads, because it's a whole year of movies and we've barely scratched the surface of. We haven't even talked about some of the Sundance, the ones that are coming out, which I'm sure are going to be amazing. There's a bunch that, new horrors, remakes of remakes, sequels, pre-sequels, all of those that we haven't, started on, that I'm sure that you will want to watch.
Yes.
So let us know.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. We hope that this show has been entertaining. We hope that your new year is off to a great start. Always, you can tweet at us, Best We Watched. We have our Patreon opportunity for just a few dollars a month. You can help support the production of this show. You can go to patreon.com/thebeardedones. We'll put the description down below. We also have an audio podcast where the portion that you just watched is on there. And now we're going to do an extended version where we are going to talk about a movie that neither of us had seen before. And then we're also talking about some entertainment news and a lot of the things that are coming up within the next week that we're looking forward to. And so we invite you to join us there. We'll put the description or the link to it in the description below, but you can find us basically anywhere that you can listen to podcasts. And if you do happen to go there and check out the podcast, we would love it if you would rate and review it, because that helps out that medium. Yeah, so well and large.
With the words. Chris with the words.
Chris with the words. Oh my goodness. Well, okay. That's enough ridiculousness. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Take care.